Before the video begins formally, I must clarify that this build is alright. It does content, but it doesn't shine while doing it. And it's a shame, really, because I really wanted the concept behind it to work as good as it kinda looked on paper. Today's content goal is edutainment. We can all learn from a build like this. I may sound a bit frustrated about the character, but that's because, to be honest, nobody likes admitting that they made an oopsie. And this character does a pretty good job at hiding the fact that he is one big fat oopsie until he gets to harder content. So let's talk about the character now, but before that happens, if you end up enjoying the content, be sure to hit the subscribe thingy. After all, this isn't the last build I'll ever do, nor the last video that will get posted on the channel. So with that out of the way, let's begin. The character that you're currently witnessing is a trickster, using dual Morten Morsu. The skill is Cobra Lash, and this setup means that we are converting 90% of our physical damage to chaos. We are also pretty crit heavy. The build currently sits at 640% increased critical strike multiplier. While affected with power charges and a diamond flask, the crit chance is 95%. We also have like 8 attacks per second. The cool thing about the build is that we are almost reflect immune. We can clear maps with up to 18% Fizz reflect. It can get a bit hairy here and there on those maps, but they are more than doable. We are also elemental reflect immune as well, despite the shatters. Since we deal 90% of our damage as chaos damage, most trash mobs die as soon as they get hit. Our DPS on paper isn't terrible, and it's mostly due to chaos being such an exotic, air quotes, damage type. All of this is what motivated me to play the character, as dealing pure chaos or as close to 100% chaos damage with an attack skill was too unique to pass up. Okay, so judging by my tone of voice, which hopefully isn't full of dread, you can notice that there is some frustration from my part and that I may be projecting it while I talk about this build. And I won't lie to you, I was excited to play with the character. After all, the green version of a Spectral Throw with built-in chain and 50% Fizz to Chaos conversion sounds freaking awesome. But in practice it turned out a bit lackluster, and when fighting tough stuff this build really only qualifies for a league starter, and even then that is supposing Cobra Lash doesn't get nerfed or changed in the near future. The character can map just fine, however it starts showing signs of incompetence by tier 13. Guardians are doable. Big fat asterisk next to that statement. I tried killing Shaper and I succeeded. It wasn't very smooth though. The character takes too long to get the job done, which is not precisely bad if you're somebody who takes things slow, but I prefer speed, and I'd rather kill stuff fast and not dance around them because I can barely chip away at their HP. Now for the weapons, which account for 50% of this half-baked meme. And I'm not gonna lie, this one surprised me the most. You literally get no better weapon than a Morten Morsu. The only way they are beat is by getting an Elder Claw with at least 300 physical DPS with 20% Fizz to Chaos conversion or more and plenty of crit multi, and you're gonna need 2 of these. By that point you also want the winning ticket to a lottery and a mansion on a remote island. I'm kidding, but replacing Morten Morsu is definitely not happening so easily. However, you can get more out of your pair of Mortems if they have 28% quality thanks to Hillock and a global crit multi corrupted implicit. It's not as outlandish or as expensive to try to get 2 Morten Morsus with those upgrades, but the current state of Blight's population doesn't help, so a fresh league is the venue to get this. As you noticed, I'm pretty conflicted with the character, as this guy turned out to be not super great. He was fun to play with and showed a lot of potential. The leveling was a breeze. He's also extremely affordable to play. The most expensive things are the chest and the Sins Rebirth. Maybe the Anointed Amulet, but golden oils are not as expensive as they were earlier in the league, which is actually surprising. Yet he's nothing special. He's good for most map tiers until you get to the tough stuff, and that's the problem. Now, don't let my disappointment get to you. There's venues to make the character better. Granted, I can't think of any of them right now, but I'm 100% sure that this has the potential to not be bot wipe. As a league starter, heck yes dude, his entry gear is his endgame gear, so you don't really lose a lot if you give him a try next league as your starter. It's just that going further into the Atlas is going to be a coin toss. I think an Assassin or a Pathfinder would have been better choices for the subclass. I went with the Trickster mainly for the defenses, and even then he's not as good as he was during Synthesis. The difference between today's Trickster and the one that used to be is obvious. You can also play with daggers, and the tree for that is different, but then again you want Chaos conversion and plenty of Fizz DPS to make it worthwhile. Stupid Morten Morsu being so efficient despite being no better than a leveling unique. So yeah, that's it for this build. My content schedule is all over the place and I am due for a Titan build on Destiny, but I also want to talk about why that hasn't happened in another video. And I also want to give Cube World another go because people have been modding it and that may kinda fix the game. I don't know, we'll see. I also need to try out the Divisions 2 stuff and I haven't even launched Uplay since the last Division video, so yeah. I got stuff pending and I should get to working on that. But that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel on your way out. And with that, I'll catch you again soon enough. Hopefully it doesn't take me an entire week to put out more content, but we'll have to see about that. Take care and peace out.